Happy Ganesh Chaturthi. We know Lord Ganesha, who is the remover of all obstacles, is a very simple godhead. He's happy with very simple flowers, and one of the several flowers, in addition to hibiscus, marigold, he is very happy receiving this wild, uncultivated, wonderful Shankapushpi. We call it Shankapushpi, Aparajita, Gokarna. Yes, you got it right. It's Clitoria tenatia. And by no planning of mine, today, along with the podcast, the little picture you get along with actually is a drawing of Shankapushpi. Hello, you all. You are tuning in to the Audible Weed Walk, episode number 56. This is Nina welcoming you. A few quick check-ins. Last podcast at the beginning, I said we might release a video. Well, it has not happened. We are all ready, but we are waiting for, on courtesy's sake, for a few more days. Sure, you will get to know about this in my Insta, YouTube, or Facebook instantly. I will definitely announce it the next time we meet after the release. Point number 2. I am changing gear a bit this time. I had a rather serious topic to cover for this podcast, and then I decided to check on the basics. This is inspired by several of you who have been telling me how to get started as a weeder. You have been asking my suggestions for it. So here it is. In the past, I would have simply said, well, if you are totally uninitiated, I would suggest getting the edible weed and naturally growing plant book, which would be the step 1. All entries in that book are species that are found not just here in Auroville, but all over India, in the entire tropics. In one of my meme for my last weed walk, I had posted an image of a painting made in 1776 in Paris. That plant are now flowering and here and now around us. So several of the plants in that book are not just found all over in the tropics, but are also found in the temperate countries. If not around the year, definitely in the summer times. So the book applies to you no matter which continent you're sitting in, barring, of course, Antarctica. Step 2. That would have been to start coloring. Whenever you have time, not as a task to complete it, but as a slow and joyful practice. Use it as a relaxing exercise as you brush or pencil the drawings, and your hands travels along the line, defining the leaves, the flowers, the fruits, if shown. A lot of learning actually can come to us effortlessly, like osmosis. Then it would be time to take it outside. If you are in the post-monsoon zone in India, greens are flourishing. Beyond India, if you are in a cooler climate, the warmer pockets during the fall also must be full of wild and wonderful greens. Here around us, despite not experiencing the rainy season yet, we had some wonderful showers, and the wild and uncultivated greens are there everywhere. Now is the time to start your journey. Start it without the book, and when the book comes, you will be already prepared for it. By the way, the book is ready for printing. Right now, as we speak, the printer is out sourcing the handmade paper for the and the appropriate GSM for the printing. In the usual time, it would have taken maybe a month or 2. But in the time that we are in, who knows, it might take a little while. But it should be ready by the end of the year. Much before that, we will start accepting pre-orders. When and how you can book your copy of the book, or you can sponsor copies for giving to schools who otherwise cannot afford, I'll let you know. Maybe here and definitely in the social media posts. Once you have colored the drawings in the book, or simultaneously, you can then take the colored insert from the book out and take it along with your daily walk. And in the walking path to see if there is something that you recognize from the book. I bet you will find a few. When you join the weed walk, I bring a few copies of the book for you to share. During the walk, when you find an edible weed, keep the picture of the book next to it. If possible, take a photo. This will remain with you to ponder, to observe, and to go deeper the next time. Until the book comes out, until you can join the weed walk with me, you can still do something. You can do some drawings. Remember the basic characters of a scientific method? It's observe, research, hypothesize, test out the hypothesis, analyze, and draw conclusions. Here, the observer and the researcher has much in common with art. By doing drawing, one also goes through the same immersive process. For natural science, therefore, preparing to learn more is best done through drawing. Our attention, drawing our attention to what we want to learn, bringing our consciousness to them, paying attention. All these can be achieved by engaging in botanical or scientific drawing. How would you do that? Well, here are some step-by-step instruction. Listen to it and follow what works for you. But don't just listen. Do a drawing. Send them to me. If you have, like one or don't even like one, send it to me at audibleweedwalk@gmail.com or post it in the social media if you are following me there. Here we go. Here is to all those who have asked me, but how do I get started? Listen up. First, find a plant you want to draw. You can choose to draw only, some leaves and a flower, only leaves or leaves and the fruits, but do not draw just a flower or just a fruit. Try to look at the plant as a whole, along with its leaves and greens, if you can. If you are confident and have plants you might have to dig out, pick one of them to draw. Like, for example, the Indian sarsaparilla or nannari, or ivy gourd, or sorrel, which is Oxalis corniculata, for example. If you are digging up, ensure the soil is soft, or you make it soft, or you do it carefully so that you do not damage the root or the tuber, depending on what you have chosen. By the way, if several of you are drawing together, try to choose one plant. If you think each one of you can look at it at a slightly different angle and still draw. That way you will be using a few of them. Bring what you have picked up and place it on a table. Outside or inside doesn't matter, whichever you have chosen as your work table. If possible, have a magnifying glass handy and also a ruler. First, gently take the excess dirt off. Not all, just the lumps perhaps. You can start with your finger or with a soft brush before you proceed. So I would suggest placing, after cleaning up the dust, I suggest placing it on a clean background. Like, just dust the table off and that's enough. Take some photos so that if the plant wilts as you are drawing, if you are not experienced, you will take some time and it will wilt. You can at least fall back on the photos. But try not to use the photo, but the real specimen you have in hand. Now sit back and observe the shape of the leaves, how they are touching the stalk. How do they feel? Is it hairy or rough? Does it feel thin or smooth or rubbery? How is the flower or the fruit attached to the plant? Observe the texture, shape of the flower or fruit. How light passes through the plant. Take in all the details. Now, start drawing. It is helpful if you have a scale or a ruler around. Measure the plant, and irrespective of the size of the paper that you have in hand, mark a line representing the length of the plant. In the size, that is the kind of the maximum size that you can draw on your paper. So say the plant is 30 centimeter or 12 inches long. Your drawing paper allows the maximum length of 15 centimeter or 6 inches. So from then on, you know the actual measurement must be halved when you put it on paper. So the fruits, the flowers, etc. would be drawn half the size. Unless you want to highlight some features, and you can then draw an inset separately. Then you are drawing the plant to scale. Now you would ask me, why bother to draw to scale? Well, it is important. If you do this, it will train you much better to understand drawings later that are drawn to scale. For example, in my Audible Weed Walk, Audible Weed coloring book, all plants are drawn to scale. So apart from actually drawing and painting and understanding the plant, you can then actually have a lot of knowledge even before going to the field to figure out what is the size and the shape of the plant, what is the size of the fruits, etc. It's really helpful. It doesn't matter really how your drawing turns out. More important is that you observe and try to bring that observation on paper as a mean to document. If you know which plant it is, great. If you do not know, try to figure out its name. Taxonomists will use plant key to do so, which is sort of a step-by-step unfolding of the plant's identity. But the keys can be cumbersome to use initially, at least. Now, you have actually plenty of online resources. Spend some time on it and find out, and try to get verified once you know the name. Try to find out the little background about the plant, where it comes from, how it is, how it grows, how it gets pollinated, things like that. They're interesting. Both your drawing and certainly your detailed observation with the magnifying glass if necessary, and the photos you have taken when you have started will help in this process. Each step, finding out, verifying, will deepen your knowledge about the plant. When your body, mind, and creativity are all focused on something, you betcha, you will know it well, and unlikely you will forget it, at least that particular plant again. Possibly that you may observe variety and variations later that you did not see in this particular plant. Wild weedy plants have a lot of variations in them, but those learnings will be cumulative. So, what are we waiting for? Sharpen your pencil, grab a piece of paper. One-sided recycled paper is also fine. See my casual drawing yesterday on the back side of an already used paper. Coloring will be good, but pencil drawings is fine too. Give it a try and send me your drawings. That will be lovely. I'll look forward to them. With that note, I take a leave today. See you next time. Stay well and stay safe.